Welcome to the Relationship Podcast with the Simpsons. I'm Antonio Simpson,
And I'm Yolanda Simpson.
and we just want to come here today to speak a little bit about some of the ins and outs of marriages.
What are we talking about tonight?
Okay, so look, I was looking online to
Mhm.
see like some of the components of uh being married and some of the components that caused peaks in divorces.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I just wanted to research it and look at some of like the major causes. What do you think was the number one cause of divorces or breakups?
I would probably say um, financial
Hmm.
or infidelity.
Oh, both were in the top five. Now
Oh,
that
yeah?
yeah, both were in the top five.
Okay.
Now there are a lot of different I guess what you call it, surveys, or there are a lot of different
Oh, yeah, surveys
lists out
or.
there. Yeah,
Uh,
but the one that I saw did actually had communication as the number one. The one that I saw had communication as number one,
I could see that.
but finances was number three. And so tonight, what I
But
did want to talk about.
no, no, no.
So what I did want to talk about tonight was
Oh,
the
boy.
finance portion of it, because
Oh, boy.
early in our marriage, man, we had
Yeah.
some issues there early in the
Oh,
marriage
boy.
until we found out a system.
Okay.
And so that's what I want to speak on. I want to talk about just finding a system
Oh,
in a
man.
relationship that works for the two of y'all. Because like I said, this is the relationship podcast, and we want to talk about real life things and be realistic about it. We
Oh,
wanted to be transparent with our relationship and speak about some of the things and some of the hiccups that we had in our relationship. And I just found it to be funny because we had Latuan over here a couple of days ago. And we
hey,
talked
Latwana.
and we talked about one of the incidents, and I
Okay.
completely forgot about the
Press
incident.
pause. Before we go into
Uh huh.
that, I would like to congratulate my friend
Okay. Yeah. Let's
and
do
her
that.
husband. He's my friend too. But Tanya and Willie
Yes.
Millerson are
Yes.
celebrating 20 years of
20
marriage
years.
tonight. So I
Yeah.
just want to say congratulations. And
Congratulations
we
to you
love
both.
you. We have not seen y'all in a minute, but we are
Yeah, we
coming.
coming. We coming to
But
be in
we
the
just love
garage and
y'all.
do that
And
karaoke
yep.
with
And
that
play space
blues.
when we get so sleepy. We always play space with them late.
Uh
And
huh.
I get so sleepy.
Do you?
Oh my God. But congratulations, guys. Happy anniversary. And I'm so proud of y'all. And it's just a blessing to have you guys in our lives.
Oh,
So
yes,
thank you.
indeed.
Thank you. Thank
Yes,
you. Thank you.
indeed. And while we giving shout outs, I do want to give a shout out to Brandon and Renee Martin
Oh
with,
yeah, our neighbors.
yes, our neighbors with Georgia Bargain Party.com.
Yes.
Did I say it right?
Uh-huh.
Georgia Bargain Party.com. They do t-shirts, they do party rentals. So if you need any type of party rentals, go to
And remember, guys, we in the midst. Okay.
gabargainparty.com. gabargainparty.com. Yeah, and they did these shirts for us. Relationship goals.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Relationship goals. And it says whatever it takes to achieve happiness in your own relationship. It's cool to hashtag relationship goals on when you
Yep.
viewing other people, other
Yep.
couples, but our focus is to try to get our own relationships intact, and that's what this podcast is about.
Yes.
Now let's get on back to this finance.
Okay. Payment
Finance. Now,
finance.
listen, before we go any further, we do want to always say and always remind that we are not relationship coaches.
Oh no,
Our relationship
I
is
don't know
not the
everything.
perfect relationship.
Mm-mm.
We have gone through things in our relationship. We just want to kind of share some stories with you guys so
Mhm.
that you too can at least come up with a system to benefit your own personal
Or
relationship.
just that it sparks a conversation for
Yeah,
y'all to have.
let's spark
It's
the
good
conversation.
to just talk to each other.
Indeed, it
You know what I
is.
mean?
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
we're hoping this sparks conversation and it sparks touchy feely
Oh yeah.
and
Oh
all
yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's gonna spark all that. This is going down in
Okay, that's
there.
enough. Go
Okay, but
ahead.
listen.
Finance.
So finance. I mean, I don't even know if it's gonna go down because you might get mad at me. But listen, what we did want to talk about was early in our relationship. We had a couple of humps in the road. Now, I was always told that when you get married, your first year is your hardest year, and then if you make it through that first year, you straight. But to me, my first year was the easiest year. To be honest, for me,
For you.
yeah, okay.
Hmm.
But so one of the things that we had, I know about 2 years into our marriage, 2 or 3 years into our marriage, me and Yolanda actually almost went through a period where we were like just ready to divorce each other. Like we loved each other. We loved on each other. I decided to move in 6 months before we got married. We shacked up a little bit.
Hmm.
So I decided to move in a little early, just so you can get to learn each other. And
Yeah, that was the most difficult time for me.
what's that?
The first 6 months that we kind of lived together.
Before marriage.
Yeah,
Hmm.
because I was just trying to find my space.
Yeah,
Because I was used to just me and
I
Courtney.
know, but how you trying to find your space? You was about to get married in 6 more months.
I know, but I was just trying to find my space. I was just trying to. I was just trying to because I had never stayed with anyone other than my parents.
That's not true. Latuanda caught me and you doing it in the living room at y'all apartment house.
I mean,
That's not true.
yeah.
What you talking about?
I mean,
You
I'm
talking about
talking
a
about a
dude?
man
Oh, okay. All right. Well, all right. Then. Say what you
other than
mean.
my dad and my brother.
Okay. No, I
Okay,
got
so I just had to find. We had spent the night and stuff, but it was different.
you.
All
Yeah.
your stuff was there, all my stuff was there, and it just felt different for
Yeah.
me.
No, I got you. I got you. I understand.
Yeah,
It was a learning process
yeah,
at the time. And I think what the ultimate thing is, when you do get married or live with each other, you start to think automatically that two incomes is better than one. That's
yeah.
just the mindset.
It is, but we
So
never even talked money
we
at
didn't. We
all.
didn't. And that was a mistake. That was the communication part cuz we communicate well now,
Hmm.
but we didn't as much back then because you
Hmm.
you just assume that bringing two incomes in is going to
Yeah,
help the relationship.
yeah,
And so I just want to tell that those out there that it could be the total opposite because yeah, you get more income coming in, but you also bringing other bills in as well. So you got to try to figure out how to work around those bills for both couples.
hmm,
So what happened with me and Yolanda was Yolanda had she had an issue with she said I always counted her money. So when I first got in, I paid the bills because I just I'm a stickler for looking over the bills and
yeah.
everything.
How did that come about?
What?
Did you start paying the bill? I mean, did you?
Well, I mean, shoot, I mean, I felt like I would be better.
You knew I was gonna be a spender.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because you was a spender. You was a spender. Listen. Men don't
Oh, I
try to.
didn't know that.
Men don't try
I
to
didn't know that
change.
you knew that.
None, huh?
I didn't know that you recognized that so early.
No, you knew that. You knew that.
I
And
knew it, but I didn't know you knew
you
it.
talking about before or after the marriage though? Because you was always a spender.
Oh, I've always been a
Yeah,
spender.
but it's different when you see the money together. Like now, when our accounts are jointed, and I'm responsible for paying the bills out of the account. So um, early on, like I said, she was always spending incrementally. So it's like she would go. She'll probably spend $50 here,
Mm-hmm. $10
ten
there,
dollars there.
$6
Yeah, it
there.
just kept spending, 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 and then on every Tuesday,
Oh, I
which was
hated
when,
Tuesday.
which
Oh,
is
I
when it was the
hated
bank
Tuesday.
statements coming out. So when the bank statements came out on Tuesday,
Yeah.
that
That's when all the
that's
transactions
when
I've
all the
made for the
transactions
weekend
hit.
they pop up on Tuesday.
And
Oh,
see, the problem, I think the issue was at the time, we're sharing an account and we both have debit cards to that account. So what
mhm.
would happen is she would spend incrementally and you don't see those transactions. So I would go out and I would use my card on sometimes, and for some reason, them banks back, where the banks now, they just let you keep on
Oh yeah,
because
they
we had
just
that
let you keep
protection.
on spending.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah. So I would spend my little money, but I always recorded. I kept
a ledger.
the ledger, and I kept the book, the checkbook balanced. So I thought. So every
Oops.
Tuesday, that's what she was like. Oops,
Oops.
oops. And I'm like, Yolanda, you can't keep going out here spending all this.
I'm like, honey, I ain't spend about, once you add it all up, I ain't
No,
spend
no.
about.
Once you add it up, I had to show her what it was. Cause she's like,
Yep.
I ain't spending nothing but about $70.
Yep.
And then then we tally that thing up. It'd be about
It
$500.
wouldn't be no $500. He's
Man,
like, yo,
it'd be a lot. It'd be a lot.
it would be about $200. And no
Oh,
one ever complained about anything I was spending. I
I
brought
couldn't
it into the
complain
house.
because we
I
were
didn't
gonna
hide
argue
it
on
or
Tuesday.
nothing.
What I was gonna complain for? I knew we were gonna argue on Tuesday.
Okay.
So
Oh
it just
man.
got to the point to where Yolanda felt like since she worked hard too, she was gonna go spend her little money where she want to, and then deal with
Yeah.
me on Tuesday and be like, okay. So I caught myself doing right. So I went and tried to buy. This is where it went down here though. So I went out and I bought you this little Grand Am Pontiac Grand Am.
It was a nice car, no?
It was a nice
It was a
car.
nice
I
car
thought
at
it was
that
a
time.
nice car.
It was a nice car at that time.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I bought it. I was
It
proud
was
of it.
new, wasn't it?
No, I wasn't new, man. People that know me, y'all know I'm frugal. I know most of y'all will probably say cheap.
Well, it
But
was it was newly used or
yeah,
something.
yeah, it was new. It was a new used car.
Oh, okay.
It was new. It was new. It was new to us. But
Well,
the
it
car
was
did good
clean.
for about. It was clean.
It was
It was
clean. It
clean.
was
So we
clean.
kept the car for probably about a year and a half. And
It was a little bit longer than that. You know, you gonna keep a car now.
yeah, so listen, no, I usually keep cars, but she kept it about a year and a half,
Oh,
2 years maybe. But
okay.
what happened was it broke down on her one day
Mhm.
because of the idle. So I went and I remember getting it
Mhm.
done, getting it repaired. And about 2 weeks later, it happened to her again on the
Press
house.
pause.
Uh huh.
I wasn't on the highway.
Oh wait.
I was on the side street of the highway,
Okay.
but I was more than 50 miles away from home,
Okay.
and I was actually out with the company that I worked for. I was
Okay.
out in the field, what they call in the field. I
Okay.
was out in the field working at a property,
Yeah. Set it
and the
up.
car broke
Set it up
down on
how
me
you want to set it up. It's fine with
twice.
me.
Now, one time I'm like, okay, things happen,
Uh huh.
mistakes happen.
Yeah.
Cars break down. That's just a part of it. But after you take it to the shop, and 2 weeks later it breaks down again for the same problem.
So
That
get
was
this.
hold
Listen.
on. Let me say this.
Okay.
That was back then at a late 20-year-old thought
Yeah,
pattern.
it was. Like I said, early in the marriage. So we was
Okay,
probably about 27,
28.
28,
Yeah,
somewhere
yeah,
around
yeah,
there.
yeah. So
So I felt good about buying my lady a car at the
it
time.
was
So,
awesome.
okay, so listen. So listen. So it broke down the second time. So I remember we had just purchased the home,
Mm, mm,
and I remember sitting in the
mm,
kitchen,
mm.
and Yolanda pulls up
Okay. I was booming that
in
radio
this
too.
red
Mm-hmm.
candy red
It was Candy Red.
Honda Accord,
Mm-hmm.
tinted windows, leather
Ooh,
interior,
sun roof.
V6 sunroof.
Ooh.
So she pulled up in that thing, and then she told me to come out there, and I was like, "Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Where you get that?" She's like, "They just let me test drive it." She said, "Just ride around the block." So I drove it. No, it was real nice. Nice pickup, real
Yeah.
smooth.
I
Nice.
brought it home. I brought it home so you could so you could feel how
Yeah.
smooth, how
Yeah.
much smoother it was.
Oh, it was way smoother
No,
than
I'm
that
talking about the
Pontiac.
ride of it.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. It was
Ain't
real nice. It
well,
was real
it was
nice.
different.
It was very different. So,
Back
so I said, "Well, how long you test drive?" She said, "Well, they don't let me keep it over the weekend." I said, "Oh, okay.
then.
Well, that's nice. Okay." And then in the midst of saying it, I say, "You gonna take this shit back though? Cause we just got this new house with these new bills. We ain't budget this. That's
Yep.
where I'm at.
That's
I want to
that's what you
budget it."
said. That's
She
what you
said,
said.
"Okay, well, just drive. Go and drive it around the block."
Yep.
I
Yep.
drove that mug around the block, drove it over to my little brother's house,
Yep. You drove. Yep. You drove
came
all the
back,
way.
parked. I was like, "Yeah, that's real nice,
Yeah.
yo."
Yeah. That's a nice ride.
Yeah. So then
Take that thing back on Monday.
take it back on Monday.
I said, okay.
Yeah. 2 weeks later, 2 weeks later, I kept seeing her pull up. I'm like, "Man, what? They don't want that car back."
I said, honey, no, the car is sold. I already signed the papers. It's too late. It's
So
mine.
she done bought the
It's
car
it's mine.
and lied to me
I didn't
about,
lie.
oh, what you call it?
I couldn't take the car back. I just couldn't. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't.
Listen, that boy, you talking about 38 hot.
Oh yeah.
I
He
was
was gonna
hot.
divorce me.
I was like, this is it, yo. This is it. We ain't doing this no more. So we actually got to a point. We never slept in separate rooms though, and that's gonna be another topic I do want to talk about. But we had got to a point where we started planning and we started saying, well, we want to make sure Courtney has both parents. We got to that point. Um, shoot, we had got to the point where we were just like, man, shoot, you do what you want to do. I do what I want to do.
Yeah.
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 And, just time went by and it wasn't a long, it wasn't no anger there, but I just felt like she really ain't trying to hear me when it comes to the finances. And so one day I was just sitting at work, man, just thinking about just us. And I remember calling her on a Friday and I said, Yolanda, when I get home, pack your bags, we're gonna take a ride. And she went up, she packed the bag. So when I got home, I packed my bags. We threw everything in the car. It was a spontaneous trip that we took to this place called Tunica, Mississippi, which is where we went for our honeymoon. And it was just one of them things where we were able to just sit in the car for 7 hours. We drove down. We talked about,
We laughed.
laughed,
We cried.
cried. We did it in the car. Okay. I'll tell y'all about that later. But listen. But it just was one of the fun trips that we took to where we just let everything down. We just cleared the slate. And Yolanda finally said, well, look, I thought this was an excellent idea. She just said, well, look, I work hard too. And I feel like you try to control my money. So, and she didn't say that nice because, we kind of heated at this point. She was just like, so I need my money. Yeah, you. She was like, I need my money and you need your money too. And so
That's right.
she said,
because my daddy, he say it all the time. He even say it right now.
Well,
you better pay yourself.
Yeah, I get it, and I understand that.
You better pay yourself.
So pay yourself. So what we agreed upon was we would get X amount of dollars from her account. I mean, from her paycheck, and X amount of dollars from my paycheck, and it would
Yeah.
go directly to the joint account, which is where we paid our bills
Yeah.
together out of. And then anything that rolled over that amount, it automatically went to
The next
our bank
month.
account.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm saying like you had a lot of money that went to the joint account
Oh yeah.
each pay period,
Yeah.
but anything over that,
Yeah.
it went to your own personal account.
Right. Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
so it just
And then
allowed
once
her.
once the money went in there, it was no you couldn't touch it for anything
Oh yeah, yeah. Once
but
the money in there, it was bills, and
yeah.
I paid the bills out of that money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So
So
if you run out of money during your 2 weeks,
yeah,
you stuck.
you stuck like Chuck.
Yeah. So that
It
that
just
helped
it
me
just
learn
put
to
it just
manage
put a
money
little
better.
some accountability on each
Hmm.
person.
Yeah.
But I will say that that trip, man, was and still is probably one of my favorite trips
Oh.
because I do feel like we were able to sit in that room
Yeah.
because we didn't, Tunica is like a little golf. I mean, look,
Casino.
gambling, it's a casino.
Yeah.
Um, and it's like a
And this
lot of
was way
old
before. What's that one they like to go to in North Carolina?
Cherokee.
Yeah, it
It
was
was way
way
before
before
Cherokee.
Cherokee. Yeah.
So it
It was
just was
way before
it's
Cherokee.
still a special spot to us today, but it's done went through a couple of changes. But I just feel like that trip, it just
I
I
wish
think it
somebody would
opened
buy that
us.
property.
Who?
Like a millionaire, like a Tyler Perry or someone would buy up that area and make it booming again. Because that thing was like a little Las Vegas back in the day,
Back in the
man.
day, it ain't now.
Did we have a good time back
Yeah,
then?
we had good
Man,
times.
we thought we were grown, grown. Did we?
Yeah, we did. But anyways, we sat there, like she said, we sat and we talked and we got back home and
Oh yeah.
we just
And
realized the
everything was all
importance.
right.
Everything was all right from that trip. So
Yeah.
um we just kind of wanted to share
But we just
some
got
of the
out of
hiccups.
our element.
Yeah.
This everyday
I just
life.
I just
Sometimes you
thought
just
it
gotta
was sometimes you gotta step back.
push your way out of there.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. So
Yeah, that was good.
it was a good trip.
That
Now I
was
did
a good
now,
trip.
now, now
You made
also
me
I
remember.
can't I got to tell this part too.
Wait a minute.
I'm saying I got to tell this part too. It was one of the best trips, but
What happened?
I drove all the way back,
Ah.
and it was just such a nice trip, man. I got to that West End spot. I was probably 30 minutes away from the house, and I got so sleepy, y'all. I got so
I was
sleepy.
so
I was 30
mad.
minutes away, and so I remember everything was so nice, and I remember saying, "Lon, I ain't gonna make it." I, I might need you to drive
Ooh,
this
I was
last 30
so
minutes. Now I just
mad.
drove 6.5
I
hours.
know, but who gives up at the 30-minute mark?
Hey man, listen. I couldn't
Oh
make
my
it. I
god.
couldn't make it.
I was
I
so
say
mad.
I've got to pull over.
I was so mad, y'all, and I know that is a critical time. It's the last 30 minutes.
Hey man,
Before something
I
could happen. I
listen.
know, I
I
know.
ain't pushing.
I was, but in my younger day, I wasn't as patient, and
No,
I
no, you
wasn't
still
as.
ain't patient now.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, yeah. But no,
But
I will suggest with
yeah,
any type of thing when you come together, you always think of the two incomes, but you never think that the other bills are coming in. So I just wanted to share with y'all what we did to kind of help our relationship when it came to that because finance will tear a relationship down.
it could.
Yeah, it would tear a relationship down.
Yeah.
So our solution was three bank accounts. She get her own account, I get my own account, and we have the joint account. And once that money goes into that joint account, I pay the bills and everything out of that, and groceries and things like that out of that. So I'm asking y'all. So what do y'all think? Do y'all think it's good to share a bank account because that's where I got it from. I actually got it from my mom and dad. I was always, I know they always told me to like have a joint account, but
Mhm.
I think you still in marriage. I think where a lot of people mess things up is they begin to lose themselves in the marriage. So I do think that you need the joint account for the bills, but keep your own separate account just to kind of still have your own individual life still, or spend on what you want to do. Spend your little $10 here and your little $50 here.
Hey,
Do it how you want to do it.
it's
Now the
mine.
only bad thing about that is now they have Cash App, so she be hitting me with the hey,
Send me twenty
I'm a
dollars
little
right
low.
quick.
Can you send me twenty
Send
dollars?
me $20.
But that's all I got for this episode.
Me too. This was good.
Oh, it was lovely. It was
Hmm.
lovely.
Yeah,
Glad we made it through it,
me too.
and I'm still here. We still together. Until next time, man. This is the Relationship Podcast with Antonio Simpson and Miss Yo.
Yes.
Y'all be easy. Have a good one.
Peace.
Peace.
Yeah, that was good.
You spend that money.